as well. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Great to have Buffering here. And I was reading an article on Robert Heathcote, his trainer, how much pressure is on him just to win this race today, because honestly, he's just, in terms of handicapping, he's lengths above these horses and he really should be winning. So there's a lot of pressure on the team to get him to win, but we're quite sure he will.
And here's Rob Heathcote with Neil Kearney.
This is my office of the morning. I come here at 3:30, we start track work. Attention, attention, elle est plus forte. It's very strong. We've got a new lad just started with us and he doesn't speak much French and he doesn't speak any English. Oui, un petit peu. It's rusty, but...
That's back to the old career, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, it is. So, yeah.
You're going back to Kentucky or Trafalgar.
Cool on the old Kentucky days, that's right.
In his former life, Rob Heathcote was a tour guide around Europe.
Attention, Jeremy, plus forte.
But for 7 years, he's been taken on the ride of his life by the grand 8-year-old Buffering.
He could nearly ride himself out.
He could, and it's like when he travels. I mean, that's the beauty of him, Neil. As you know, we've taken him down to Melbourne pretty much every year the last 6 years, and he can just about fly the plane himself. You know, he's an extraordinary animal.
On the dirt at Eagle Farm on Thursday morning, the Buff was at ease with track rider Melanie Sharp.
Evens 1,000, Pete, on the soft side.
How was he this morning?
Oh, he was beautiful. He was strong. Like, I don't think I could have held him any slower. His enthusiasm was 110%. He's happy. He wants to be there and he wants to run.
And this could be one of the easiest wins of his life.
Well, you know, ideally it would be, but anything could happen. But I'd like to think it is. He'll go out, give his 100%, and hopefully blow him away.
If he happened to win on Saturday, it'll take him past Takeover Target's career earnings. So it's, you know, rarefied air when you're talking about, you know, Black Caviar and Takeover Target, and now Buffering is one of the biggest prize money earners in sprinting history.
What does he mean to you?
Oh, look, he's been just such a major part of my life for this last 7 years.
Into the clear, but is it too late?
The Buff is a last racing link with the Black Caviar legend.
Buffering clinging on from Sham Express.
Because of her, he took 26 Group 1 races to finally break through.
He's got it! Buffering got his Group 1, he beat Lucky 9.
Yes, it did take us quite a while for him to finally crack the big time and win a Group 1.
18 Group 1s.
18 Group 1s, yeah, he raced in, and quite extraordinary, isn't it? 18 Group 1s and he couldn't win one, and then he's won 6 in his last 12.
Buffering's going great guns at the moment. Moment of change.
Is that what's made him more of a legend?
I think so, Neil, and I think it's part of our Aussie psyche. We love the Aussie battler.
Buffering tiring, he's hanging on though, and Buffering's won it by 3/4 to Sham Express.
And I think Buffering fits into that category.
Yeah.
He stepped into the boxing ring with some of the best horses over a long period of time, and he got knocked out quite a few times, but he keeps getting back up again. And I think that'll be his endearing legacy, is this longevity.
Tough as Buff.
Tough as Buff, and it's a term that's thrown around quite loosely in racing, that term champion. He's been a champion for me for so long now, and very, very proud.
Incredible stuff. Damien Brown's won 8 races on this horse. 7 different jockeys have ridden him, and one on him. Lots of others have ridden him. He's just phenomenal, and if he wins today, he does go past Takeover Target. Second only to Black Caviar amongst the sprinters.
And even more importantly, he was a $22,000 purchase back in 2009. So compare that to how much he's won. It's unbelievable.
What I love about this horse, and for all of his fans and also the punters that back him, he's a horse that makes his own luck, and he's tough. He makes the speed early, that first 600, then the last 600 he really rips it in and bores it into those that are behind him. He puts his hands up and he says, well, come and get me. I'm strong, I'm tough. This is how I roll.
In the cutest scheme here, the open plate, Magic Millions. Simon, how does he look, Buffering?
Yeah, he looks absolutely sensational, Bruce. He's just walked into the yard right now. Beautiful and relaxed. You can see those bright blue Blinkers on him. He's got the sparkles on his hindquarters. He's fresh. He's not even sweating one little bit. Now, that's a horse that knows exactly what he's here to do and reserve his energy. You know he's going to roll forward, try and control this race. Now, there's a couple here that are going to annoy him early. There's some speed horses in this that'll try and take him on. But I think that he's the type of horse that can take a sit off that if that happens and still be just too strong for this lot.
It's interesting you say that, Bruce, because we had him at $1.25. We pushed the champ out to $1.30, and one punter said, "Thank you for that. I'll have 50,000 at the $1.30." So some punters at that level are happy to back him at the short price. But what we've seen is a lot of multis. Wolf Cry into Buffering, into Capitalist later on in the Magic Millions 2-year-old. So there's a lot riding on this race, even though it's at the $1.30, which means we've got big prices for everything else. Still Zip 12's out to 13s. A bit of money for Any More, got out to 20, back into 15. And Siegfried, originally named by a group of owners that name all their horses after characters in Get Smart. $20 for Siegfried. Nothing happening for the lower prices whatsoever. A little bit of money for Mr. Booze at the $34, $41 mark. But it's all about Buff in a lot of these multis, Bruce.
Yeah, he's that middle pig, as you said. The first one's home, and you've got Capitalist after that. So a lot resting on the shoulders of this great galloper, but he's been there and done that before, hasn't he? There'll be some sort of a year there here on the Gold Coast with the Commonwealth Games as well. Well, they've gone out to the barrier. Buffering's on his way. Paddy, you with Rob Heathcote.
11 times his last 11 races, Group 1 company. Not today, but I bet you're still nervous.
Gee, Paddy, 31 Group 1s, you think I'd be getting used to this, but yeah, a few butterflies, and he's never raced here at the Gold Coast, and yeah, $1 million. Good stuff.
We were, you know, like every punter, you look, I suppose, for the negative. You have a little bit of a hoodoo down here, wide barrier, big weight, etc. But we're talking about a champ, aren't we?
Exactly, and the track looks like it's playing fantastic. Barrier 11 or 12, whatever we're coming out of, it's not going to worry us. In fact, Damien was quite happy with us. He'll cruise across to the front. Hopefully no bad luck, and everything plays out the script.
What a ride you've had. I mean, we're talking about international plans if he comes through this okay.
If he comes through it okay, yeah, the Dubai World Cup in March, it's something that I've had on the radar for the last year or two, if he's sound and healthy, and so far, touch wood, he is.
Let's hope we're talking in a few minutes.
Thanks, Fatty.
To beat Buffering, because really, like you said, Bruce, it's the weight scale that puts him at a disadvantage. A horse like Any More is only getting 3 kilos off a multiple Group 1 winner such as Buffering, which doesn't help them at all.
In he goes. I mean, and you've both gone for it. He's a remarkable horse. I mean, they've never actually said he's the best sprinter in Australia because he's been against Black Caviar, Haylist, Lincoln Rupee, Chautauqua, Terra Vista, but here he is. He's still going strong, isn't he? If he hasn't been the best, he's certainly been the second or third best for 5 years.
And the longevity, don't forget,
That's the
he's
thing.
an 8-year-old now. And then also physically, he's not a big, strong, impressive horse. He's just small.
And Rob Heathcote's done a great, great job, hasn't he, to keep him up. Here's Josh Fleming for his call.
Stern racing now, and over on the outside, Saga the Storm came out poorly. Buffering was away well. He's third after 150. Mr. Booth and Chooser Saga the first two. There's Buffering on the outside. He strides up to go to second. Steel Zipper's up to fourth. Any More 50 inside. Siegfried, Rising Luck, Abu Ben Adam. And then we've got over on the inside, Duchess, Molly and company with Spur Leger. Saga the Storm's a long way backward down, Saiichi. And it's the Jet Set on the outside as last of all, but Buffering the champ down the side. He led the way here by a length from Mr. Boozen, 2.5 lengths away. Third is Any More. Choose a Saga on the centre, and then Steel Zip on the outside, who's been 3, 1.5 lengths to Rising Luck, and then Siegfried, Duchess, Molly, Spur Leger, Abu Ben Adam, and Saga of the Storm is back third. Last the final two, Mr. Jet Set and Dow Saiichi. Buffering narrowly. He led by a neck from Steel Zip, who's been wide. Mr. Boozen the centre. Any More the next one, and Siegfried on the outside, but he got away. Buffering. He led by a length and a half to Mr. Booze. Steel Zip on the outside, and Siegfried the next one. Buffering the leader. Mr. Booze about a length and a half away. Steel Zip on the outside, but Buffering, he's going well with 100 metres left to go. He's holding them. The pride of Queensland. He's our champ. Buffering. He goes all the way, wins it by 2 lengths to Mr. Booze. Photo third, Spur Leger, Steel Zip, followed by Saga the Storm, and then Duchess, Molly, Any More, Siegfried, Dow Saiichi, Rising Luck, Abu Ben Adam, Choose a Saga, and Mr. Jet Set was last of all.
Well, it wasn't spectacular, that's the truth. It's the furthest he's ever won over. He hadn't won beyond 1,200, where he'd won most of his races. 12 of his 18 wins had been at 1,200, but he was never in doubt.
Yeah, but it wasn't spectacular, but also look at the way Damien Brown rode him. He didn't ask him to do very much at all. Here, he's just crouching lower in the saddle, saying, come on, Buff, we'll just give you a little leg stretch here. And Mr. Booz, yes, he was always thereabouts and steals it. Nothing really got into it from behind them. But I think he's probably quite a clever horse. You know, they get to this age and they work out that they only have to do as much as they need to do. And, God, he must be a pleasure to ride. Like, you just jump out, go to the front and just enjoy the ride.
He did what he always does, wins the kick and then sends the message to all the other horses and riders behind, OK, I'm going to lead at some stage, but I'm not going to cross the fence straight away so that something can come around me and block me in a pocket. I loved the ride the first 2 furlongs where he stayed 4 off the fence, 3 off the fence, got to the half mile and said, righto boy, whoa, he put that beautiful big deep bridge on him and he brought him back underneath him. He started breathing beautifully. He gave that kick at the top of the straight and he did enough.
And look at the affection there. Here's Damien Brown with Bernie.
He's always away when he does it, so it's great to get one at home.
The crowd was excited. Of course, they were cheering you when you're going out.
Yeah, he's just been that sort of horse for quite a while now. Bernie captures the heart of the public, and that's what the public need to come to the races, so it's great for racing.
And he doesn't need to race all the time now, does he?
No, he's getting like me. We just do what we have to now, and when he's doing what he's doing, why change anything?
And the 1,300, is that as far as he wants to go, or he was safe?
Oh, look, he's still pretty strong today, but 61 kilos, you know, I'll let Rob decide what he's going to do with him.
What rough did you buy now?
Yeah, it'd be nice playing for. I don't like travelling much, but I suppose I'll have to now.
I think you're going to have to. Maybe Rob will buy you a first-class ticket.
I don't know about that.
I'm sure Buff would. Well done.
Thanks, Benny.
Off to Dubai for that World Cup, the turf race, the
Alcos.
Yeah, 1,000 metres.
Exactly.
Well, the great part about this guy, he's got more frequent flyer points than most humans. He travels very well, like he's been to Perth, and you know, he's one of those horses that he just relaxes well.
35,000 Ks he's done so far, Simon, in his life, they reckon, so he's probably up with you.
It's not bad, mate, it's not bad.
Rob Heathcote knows all about that. He was a travel agent before he was doing this job, Paddy.
One of the part owners, Bruce Harry, you'd love this. The owners were celebrating as if you'd just won a Group 1.
Well, Pat, we expected to win, but it was so much more pressure coming in today when you're a $1.30 pop favourite. I mean, you lose today and you go home pretty shattered, but he didn't know that.
They don't mind a party, these owners, do they?
They lose today, they probably would have sacked the trainer at 5's on, but no, look, it's an enormous relief, and as I've said to a couple of others, it gives me a lot of pride to showcase him here on his home turf in Queensland. He's one of Queensland's best ever sprinters, and to win here in front of everybody is just magic.
Probably the toughest time to ask, but maybe is this the last time we see him in Queensland? You've got to, you know, if he comes through this, as we said, there's a big international program possibly mapped out.
Yeah, Dubai and Hong Kong and back for a spell and back down to Melbourne and back to Perth and back here again this time next year. Why not?
Can you sum it up in just a couple of words, Rob, about what this horse means to you and the owners?
Oh, just enormous pride. You know, the dream lives in racing, and the sales are on at the moment, and they've been ever so popular, and the dream is there. This horse costs $22,000. You want to get in to the game and enjoy some of this? Get a share on a horse.
Great stuff, guys. Go and enjoy.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, good stuff, Paddy. He's a favourite of all of us. So $6.4 million in prize money. How's that? Past takeover target in the sprinting ranks and second only to one of his great rivals, his greatest rival in so many ways, in Black Caviar.
That's right, isn't it? Not